Yeah, welcome again, SportGlobe family, to another one of our videos. Thank you very much for joining and definitely for watching this video. We appreciate you a whole lot, and thank you very much for the subscribe, for the comments, and for all your participation. Joseph Pep Guardiola Salah, coach of the century. Yes or no? Do you believe? What do you all think? My view, I think Pep Guardiola is the coach of this century in my lifetime. I know everybody talking about Sir Alex Ferguson and his run that he had with Manchester United, but really and truly, when you look at 13 years up against what, about 10 years, Pep Guardiola have been doing it all, everything. When we look at it, we see his career and how it spanned out. I'm going to get a little bit into it, but do you believe that Pep Guardiola is the coach of the century, or can even be a bigger coach of this century? And the closest rival that we have seen to him is Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean, we have greats like, you want Cruyff and all them people, but hey, listen, Guardiola, who had come up in an era where football was even a big thing and played a big part, but did you know that he was a great defender, though? Sir Alex Ferguson was a forward, and we're going to look at both of them careers in a little bit. But the big thing about it, I have a video or two videos that I've left at the end of my conversation that I'm having with you. That I love the send off or the response or the what he had said to the fans at the stadium in his last couple of games for him leaving Manchester City. And it was very emotional, it was very nice as well, and I like what he had to say. But what sparks me in this conversation is who Pep Guardiola is. And did you know that his name was really Joseph Guardiola Salah? Everybody call him Pep. I don't even know why. Maybe one day I need to find out why they really call him Pep Guardiola and how that came about. Maybe that's something that we may need for doing a couple of videos. Look at how different players or coaches get their names or their pet names, where it came from and all of that, if we can find the information. But I just want to have a quick look back, and this, as we learn and as I learn and you learn and everybody learn, is who these persons are, because a lot of people talking about how great he is, a lot of people making reference to him and Sir Alex Ferguson as two of the greatest coach in club football, for that matter. And that's where I want to be able to look at, but we deem it, Pep the greatest coach of this century. And we're going to have a snippet of Sir Alex Ferguson career, and we're going to have a look at Pep Guardiola career. And, we got to Wikipedia for a lot of the information. So let's look at, who should we look at first? Let's look at Sir Alex and his career, right? So Sir Alex Ferguson, of course, an Englishman. Everybody revere him. Manchester United coach for many, many years. I think it was 21 years or something like that. That says he was a forward. He was born 1941. I guess he's 84 years old now. Doing okay. I think it is the last time we saw him or we hear of him or we saw him on TV attending a game. He's a Scotland man, come from Glasgow. Played forward, not for Manchester United, and not for any great well. This episode is sponsored by J&J Garage. Top quality, cheap prices.
J Garage, we do excellent brakes and clutch repair. Pressure plates, flywheels, disc brake pad, brake shoes, clutches. Any job you have, cars, vans, jeeps, buses, trucks, and tractors. Just call J&J Garage, 1-876-408-3836, 887-7504 for all your pickup and delivery service throughout the 14 parishes.
Queen's Park Rangers was a big club back then, and he played for Queen's Park Rangers from 57 to up to 1960. He played for Queen's Park Rangers, but he had played for some smaller clubs during his career. So played for Rangers as well. I'm seeing here 67 to 69 and some smaller clubs in between that. But the total amount of goals that he has under his career as a senior player is 171 goals he had scored right throughout his career, spanning from 1957 up until 1974. So that's Sir Alex Ferguson as a young man playing football in the forward area, coming out of Glasgow, Scotland. He made his international career 1960, playing for Scotland amateurs, and then 67 he got into the senior team, scoring 4 goals. Playing the Scottish League, scoring 2 goals. Yeah, and but let's look at his managerial career, because that's the reason why we're having a quick look at his career. So 1974, he had a career with East Shirleyshire, let's call it that. We can pronounce it, and then St. Mirren. From 74 to 78, and then he went on to coach 78 to 86 for Aberdeen, and then he did the stint with Scotland 85 to 86, and then from 86 until 2013 he did with Manchester United, and there's where he got all of his big accreditation and claim to fame and that kind of thing. But yeah, let's see if he has any pet name here. His name was Sir Alex Chapman Ferguson. No, Fergie they call him. Yeah, so we can see the reason why they call him Fergie, why we all call him Fergie, Ferguson Fergie. Yeah, so that was his career. Let's have a quick look at Pep career as well. So he played as a defender. He was born 18th of January 1971. He's now 55 years old, still a young man, so still have some ways to go, in terms of doing his thing. He's a Spanish man. Where he was born in Spain, yeah. Santa Pador, yeah, if I can say that correctly. And he was a defensive midfielder. And I guess that's why I say midfielders always do very well in, and a defensive midfielder always read the game, and they have a very great knowledge of the game. His youth career spanned, he of course spent a lot of time in Barcelona from 84 to 1990. His senior football days though started out at Barcelona 1988. I guess 88 is when we did have Hurricane Gilbert. Yeah. And he played with Barcelona. The C team only scored 1 goal during that season from 88 to 89. 1990 to 92, went up to the B team. 90 to 2001, then he started to play for the senior team as a spec, scoring 6 goals in that period. And 2001 to 2002, he went to Brescia, where he also scored 2 goals for them, appearing 11 times. 2002 to 2003, Roma, where he didn't even score but played in 4 games. 2003, went back to Brescia, scored 1 goal during that. Looked like it was a mid-season for them, but 2003 to 2005, Ali, he played, it appeared 36 times, scoring 5 goals. And of course, he ended his career 2005, 2006, Dor Rados, scoring 1 goal. So overall, as a young man in his senior career, scored 21 goals. Of course, he was a midfielder, so he got the opportunity for scoring goals. But his international career, played for Spain from 91 up until 2001, scoring scoring 7 goals for Spain, from under 21, under 23, and for the senior team he scored his most goal, scoring 5 goals. Catalonia, he had also appeared for them 1995 to 2005. Yeah. Now let's look at his managerial career. Most of his career had spent at Barcelona thus far, and Manchester United. He had started out his career coaching the Barcelona B team 2007-2008 for that 1 season, and then he went on to the senior team 2008 to 2012 in those glorious years with Lionel Messi and company and all of them great guys that he had put together, and was unstoppable during that time at Barcelona. Then he spent some time in Bayern Munich from 2013 2016, Manchester City 2016 2026, where he got a whole lot of goals. And it was, so when you look at both of them career, you would say for me Pep seemed to be on an average, averaging mathematically maybe more than Sir Alex Ferguson right now in terms of his coaching career, and is doing pretty well. But I did really love the way and the message that he gave, and the way he communicated when he was leaving. You can see that he was really passionate about Manchester City. I don't think that he was ready to leave it, but I think last year or so would have just confirmed the fact that the fans weren't happy because the team wasn't winning and that kind of thing, and I was losing some games that everybody thought he would have won. And maybe just make up his mind and decided to leave the club and just go somewhere else. But he still has a great career ahead of him, though. He's only 55 years old. But do you think that Sir Alex is a coach of the century, or do you think that Pep Guardiola is coach of the century based on those statistics that we would have read out, and based on the fact that Pep Guardiola is still very much out there? A lot of people arguing that Pep spent a lot of money and got a lot of money to spend over at Man City, but hey, listen, Sir Alex Ferguson got money to spend over at United as well. But the thing about it is that whether or not you have good money or you have no money at all, is the fact that you can find good players and you can mold them into what you want them to be. And that's what I think good coaches are. You know the game very well. You can motivate players. All players in the world playing at international levels are really good players. So it's the way you can motivate them and get them to work together as a team would what make you stand out as good coach. Right, so to be a great coach, then you need all the necessary support around you that is going to help you to do that. But what the man says, man, brought tears to many of the fans' eyes, and that there's a video that I want to share with you, many to the man's eyes, to the fans' eyes, in regards to what he did. Of course, Pep, won many titles over the years. With the Champions League, the Spanish League, and all of those. Sir Alex Ferguson would have won quite a bit of those as well, but it's still very comparative. One of the things that does surprise me though when I was looking at Pep career is that Johan Cruyff was his coach back then at Barcelona. That would have taught him many things. He was part of a dream team that he had coached as well over there, winning the European Cup in 1992. So that was fantastic, man. And they won that Spanish league for 4 consecutive years with him on that team as a defensive midfielder, which is pretty awesome too. So you would have learned a lot from one of the greats as well, and transition that into the now football. But yeah, man, Pep Guardiola.
Hey everyone, check out this bump-free spray. It stops the grown hair. To show you just one spray, it's that easy. No bumps, no irritation, just smooth skin. Get yours today.
Coach of the century. I don't know what you guys have to say. Champions League, Premier League, winning with Barcelona in the Spanish League, going over to Germany and winning with the German Footballers League as well. And for a coach to be winning in 3 different countries, and he's win the league in all 3 countries in a short career too. It's not that he had a whole long career that he was doing all of this with. It was pretty short career. So, it's a big achievement in a short time, and it says something about who he is. You know, he's a very strong-willed coach too. You know, when you hear him in the dressing room and the way he relates to the players, he gets them moving, he gets them working. He's a good leader. You know, that kind of a thing. You know, but it was Marina is a good coach, yeah, but you know, a little bit different in terms of temperament, in terms of how you motivate players, and that's what is needed. Maybe Jamaica need to take a page out of his book in terms of how do you look for a coach. Yeah, it's not necessarily because the man is an expensive coach, but how do you look for good coaches? Good coaches come with certain credentials, not just on paper, but certain personality and that kind of a thing. So, hey, listen, the video is what I want you to look at as you deliberate over whether or not you think that Pep Guardiola is better than Sir Alex Ferguson, or Sir Alex Ferguson is a better coach in terms of this century. What do you all think? Tell me what you think, you know, as we all contemplate the World Cup coming up this season, another couple of weeks. It's great to see one of our coaches, and sorry to see that he's not coaching a national team too. I'd really love to see him coaching a national team and see what that would look like. Yeah, I'd really love to see that. But hey, listen, tell me what you think. My thoughts, what's yours? My thoughts is Pep Guardiola is our coach of the century. Tell me what you think. Pre the video and tell me what you think of his speech that he gave when he was leaving Man City. The new coach, can he do it? Who knows? Let's see. But take a look at the video and tell me what you think. And then, of course, like, share, and leave your comment on whether or not Pep Guardiola or Sir Alex Ferguson, who is the better coach of our century during our lifetime. Forget about all of the older people. Talk about Sir Alex Ferguson and Pep Guardiola. That's what we want to discuss today. So let me know and watch the video and leave your comments. Our game, our culture, our globe.
Yeah, really satisfied. I don't know the right words. Really satisfied, happy, and proud, and have been the experience, I would say, maybe of my life. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been 10 years. So I cannot be more grateful for the amount of love and affection that I had known not today, these days, you know, for many, many years, and nothing else. So.
Why now?
It's the time. It's not wake up, go to sleep one day, wake up in the day after and say, now is the time to live. It is a process that I felt it for a while, and always the club respect me unbelievable for the fact the decision. The club has to be, of course, ready. And I felt that, listen, this job is every 2 days during many, many years, and Selhurst Park, and Anfield, and Madrid, and FA Cup, and now I have to see, you know, live my life, at least see what happened. And 10 years is a lot of time, and I think the club needs, new manager, new energy, with these incredible players that we have right now, and you start to write another chapter.